Hello, welcome. I am Drea the Medium, and this is Honey Breaks and Ghost Stories. If you are a gardener and you like ghost stories, please feel free to stay because this one's a doozy. It's quite layered, and I honestly don't even know where to start. So, we're going to take a honey break and come right back. All right, now that we have that out of the way, we're going to jump into the story. I do want to preface it with I was 7 years old, so I don't remember everything. This is the stuff that I remember to a T that kept me up with nightmares and stuff. When I was a kid, we lived next to a creek, and for those who know, creeks do bring in energy, and it's interesting how spirits travel with them and how they utilize it to ramp up activity. Um, funnily enough, funnily, no, funny enough, I live by that same creek right now. The difference is I'm farther down and the spirits are completely different. The old apartment, though, that place was heavy. I shared a wall with my mom's best friend's son. He is my cousin. We've known each other for, God, 30 years. And we were around the age of like 7. Every night we had our own little ritual thing that we would do. We would knock on the wall 3 times. That was our way of saying goodnight. It was sweet. It was innocent, like nothing to think about. Well, one day we were playing tag. We ran upstairs and absolutely froze. There's this older guy up there. He was beautiful, but he was so angry. And the clothes he was wearing, we didn't necessarily recognize because we were kids. Now, as an adult, I can tell you it was regalia. It was traditional, it was sacred, it was gorgeous, but I didn't know that as a kid. Um, Before we could move, he screamed at us and we just ran away. He ran towards us. We bolted. We ran downstairs, told our moms, and of course they were like, "Oh, it's just your imagination. We told you you weren't supposed to be upstairs." And like as an adult, my mom was probably like, "Thank God that spirit scared them downstairs." Well, we were stubborn. We went back. We found a very beautiful piece of, I don't want to say the word because I don't want the video to get removed, but it was something that you could use for cooking. There we go. We brought it downstairs. After that, nobody actually talked about it, and I thought it was super weird. Like, they told us it was our imagination. We found a random cooking utensil, and yeah, I, it wasn't actually used for cooking, but you know what I mean. After that, things did get super strange. My cousin would go and he would spend the night at his grandma's house, and I would still hear the three, but I would also hear my name and somebody talking to me. It sounded like him, but he wasn't there. And when I was gone, he would also hear the knocks, but he had a shadow person that would stand and hover over his bed and just watch him. It was sleep paralyzation essentially at the age of 7. It was terrifying. He hated it. Uh, we thought it hated us. It probably did. Or I could have also been accident prone because after those, I then had like 2 major injuries. Shook my mom and dad to their core. They weren't happy. I had to get stitches twice. The first time we went to the hospital, second time my mom did braided stitches, and I mean things worked out, but it was kind of nerve wracking. Weird things happened, and as adults, we really don't talk about it. I've tried to get my mom to talk about it, but she kind of just like pushes things under the rug, which I find to be super odd because she too sees spirits and she too has had her own experiences. Um, After we moved, that spirit didn't follow either one of us. But when my cousin moved, my uncle came back from across seas and brought some really dark, heavy, gross energy back with him, attached to a bunch of his work tools and supplies. Um, and things got worse for my cousin. I really didn't like staying over there with them, but that's a story for another time. Just remember, anytime you hear knocks on a wall, on a door, after bedtime, do not answer it. Be careful. Like, that's common sense, I fear. I learned that more as I got older. But I don't know. That was my first like full blown experience as a kid, and I love it. Anywho, I do have more. Come back for part two, and we'll get into the spirits that my uncle brought back that caused havoc for so many of us. Um, that one's a doozy as well. But I hope you have a great day. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Okay, bye.